you all? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. I want to thank my returning subscribers. I appreciate you guys. I thank you all for those who shared my last video. I really appreciate that. God bless you. And if you're new here, you like what I'm about, please consider subscribing. Turn on your notification button so you can know whenever I upload a new video. And the purpose of the channel mostly is to learn from life issue, kind of bring some tips in, and I could read social story time, bring some lesson out of it or give advice to my own knowledge. That's it. So today I want to talk about personal boundary. Personal boundary, how we can go about it. Personal boundaries are actually really a limit or rules that you set for yourself, either in a relationship or casual relationship. When I mean casual, I mean maybe your colleague at work or just common friends that you have, while the emotional ones are the one that you have the emotional feelings for, that you guys share a feeling that you've made to each other. That's where maybe sometimes some people do have this jealous at part of it, that you shouldn't be with so person, the person you're sharing that personal feeling with feelings with. Those are the emotional ones. While your casual ones are your casual friends. It could actually be your families as well, your cousins, distance of friends and all that. So you should be able to have a personal boundary that you set for yourself, so that when you're crossing it, you should be able to spell out what you don't like and the way you go about them. Know yourself and be able to express those rules politely and stating what you're most comfortable with. Know what makes you good and or less of yourself. So when you're being defined differently, you can disagree. You know what you can tolerate and accept and what you cannot. So there are things that people could do, you could tolerate it. So you can allow, even it's not right, but you like, you know what, I can do with this thing, I can still cope with it for a while. Why some, and the limit where you can take it up to. Some, when they start talking about others, you could just be around them because you're not really contributing, but you can still be around there. But if you not notice, that's what they do most of the time. There's a limit that you can take. So you just want to take yourself out of their circle, or once they're about to gather, you just want to find yourself something else to do so you don't get involved in it. Even if they call you that, come on Johnny, you can tell them, no, I'm okay in this place, and I'd rather just be alone, or I'd rather be here. And if once they start noticing that you're not contributing, you're not doing that thing with them, they already know you've set a boundary, knowing that you're not going to be part of such thing. It's just a scenario that I just created here. It doesn't have to be when people are gossiping. It could be maybe they are doing something shady or any other thing, some attitude, behavior that you don't feel comfortable with, and you don't want them to think less of yourself. Just set the boundary. You can spell out this boundary in a polite way. In your action, they could notice it, and they would know things that they wouldn't even involve you in or call you to join. And remember, not everyone should have access to you. It's not that A will have access to you, B will have access to you, the other one will have access to you. That doesn't make you nice. You think you're being nice to them. Some people will see you as people that they can easily manipulate, that you cannot take decision on your own. If you like, you're a people pleaser, so they can't really trust the decision you will make at a certain period of time, or they can't trust whatever you say because they don't know if you're being manipulated by others. Maybe the decision, whatever you're saying, is not actually the truth, or it doesn't come from your mind. So be able to set a limit to yourself. You don't be too accessible. Don't be so accessible to people. Also know that party friends are different from normal friends. Not everyone you meet at a party that have been nice to you, or you guys just chat, becomes your close friends. They cannot always be your close friends. So not party friends are not the same as your normal friends, and you don't have to start sharing your details with party friends. And with party friends, you cannot share some emotional crime moment with them. You only met them, you don't know who they are, you don't know how they take things are quite deep. So your party friend are quite different from the normal people that you share your crying moment with. Know that. So when you're setting your limit your access, that people don't just get access to you anyhow. Okay. And the third one is let your no be no. Once you say no, let it be no and stick to it. Don't let people know you as the one that when they say no, they will say, oh, just give her 1 minute, or oh, I'm just gonna have a word with that, and instantly you're gonna change every time. Once they know that once you say no, it's gonna take a very strong and in fact a while before you can change your decision. So let your no be no. Stick to your no. Train yourself to say no and stick to it. Once people know you to be like that, it's going to be hard for them to come to want to try to manipulate you. Some people know that once they come to manipulate people, those people easily get convinced. That's why I said some people will not trust what you say because they know they can easily buy you over, but they know that, oh, it's going to be a tough one for me to convince this person. Let me give it a try. But you know what, I can't promise, because once she says no, she actually has a reason, and she usually sticks by it. And the moment they come to you and you said, oh no, I can't do it, yeah, they know. Stick to it. Let your no be no and stick to your no. You don't need to keep explaining. And sometimes don't explain your reason for saying no. You just have to say no, I can't do it. If they start asking you why, you don't have, while you're trying to explain, some people already start, as you're explaining, they're trying to give you a reason why you should not follow your reason for saying no. So if you don't want to be convinced, just say no. You don't need to start giving reasons. The reasons you're giving might not be bought by other person listening. It might not be tangible. The other person might feel, you know what, if you say, oh, I can't come to your party because I've got to babysit my child, some will say, oh, why can't you bring the child here? It's not as if I'm a child eater or something. Or why can't you give it to your friend? They will find a reason, but you want to spend some personal time with your child or that person, the other person. So just say you can't make it, you won't be able to meet, but you wish them well, and you see them in the next maybe party or whatever gathering that it is. Okay. So the fourth one is limit or avoid people who easily trigger negative out of you. Limit or avoid people who trigger negative reaction out of you. Some, they know you don't like being eased at, but they will definitely do it. They know how to poke you to get negative reaction, and that's what they need to tame you down, to paint you bad, and people will like, oh, as if they are so perfect. So if you know you always see people that always, whenever you're around them, they always do that and that will make you angry. If you try to set your limit, it's part of you setting the limit, but try to avoid them or limit your access to them. Don't always be around them, because they will trigger that negative reaction out of you. If it's a gathering that the way they actually behave is going to trigger that bad reaction out of you, don't go, or spend a few minutes there and take it and leave. Once they start that thing, or when they start drinking, once you have a cup, the second cup and the third cup, you start misbehaving. The moment you get there, instead that that you're not going to drink, or you're having a cup and you're leaving, if they start offering you, oh, come on, take more, before you know it, you start reacting. They will take the camera and start doing video and sending it on social media, just to make you become a vulnerable person. So you try to limit your access to them. Avoid even being in such gathering as well. That's the fourth one. So it's not every time you have to talk either as well. It doesn't mean that you don't have a clue of what people are discussing. It doesn't mean that you're not brilliant, or you're paranoid, as some people will use that word just to make you speak up or trigger you to talk. It doesn't mean that. Sometimes you could use that, not even talking, being silent, to also know other people. You see the way they react to something. So you don't always have to talk. It doesn't mean that you don't have a clue or brilliance. Speak a little and withdraw more. If you speak a little, allow others to talk. You see the way they talk, you know the kind of person they are, and that's it. Understand the spirit of silence. When you're in a gathering, try to note people, the way they do things, so that the next time you see them, it helps you to know how to walk your way around them. Some people, of course, they are carefree, they talk anyhow, you kind of know them. So once they come to you and start asking some questions, it will guide you to know how to respond, because you know once they leave your place, once they get to the next place, the way they are going to narrate that story could be different. They are very good at exaggerating things. So because you've noticed them, it will help you, will guide you on how to deal with them. So talk less, observe more, learn to withdraw, learn to hold some things. It's not everything you need to speak out. So the next one is stop molding yourself to fit into friendship. Stop molding yourself. If you're like this, you see some friends that are like, you want to mold yourself to be in their middle because you want friends. You want them to be your friends. Not everyone can be your friends. Not everyone will like you, no matter what you do, no matter how you do it. Not everyone will like you the way you're doing things. So if you live your own way and you're also going their own way all the time, you will even see some, they will tell you that you don't have a mind of your own, that you're a copycat. They feel you're not good enough. And you know what? Once they start making you feel less of yourself, you will not like yourself anymore. You might even eventually dislike them. I don't want to use the other word, which is HATE. So you wouldn't want to be around them. You might dislike them. So stop molding yourself to fit into every friendship. Not everyone will be your friend. Not everyone will like the way you do things. Try to be yourself. So I'm going to talk about effective ways of setting boundaries. Number one, visualize and name your limits. Visualize and name your limits. Like I said, once you get to a place, you observe. You've seen the way they do things, and you know, oh, I cannot do this one. I don't want to belong to this. I don't want to get to this extent. You will now know, since you visualize it, by the time you're setting your boundary or you want to vocalize it to them, tell them, oh, I don't like when people backbite, or I don't like when people bring when people are in a gathering and they're bringing the other down. So kind of vocalize it. You visualize it. You can tell them in a polite way what you don't like, the limit you have set for yourself. So when they see you withdrawn, they will understand that, oh, she's not that kind of a person. They can call you names, but maintain who you are. Openly communicate your boundary. That's the second one. Openly communicate your boundaries. You don't like social things. You don't like when people come to your house unannounced. You can say, oh, I wasn't expecting you. Or I was doing something. I planned to do social thing because you didn't tell me that you're coming. I'm sorry, I won't be able to accommodate you more than 2 or 3 minutes because I have set up the whatever the schedule for the day. So please, next time you're coming, let me know so I can actually fit that into my diary. I'm sorry about that. And they see you taking your kid and you're about to go out. So next time, if they know they want to pop into your house, they will give you a call or text you. You've said it in a polite way. If you have more polite way of letting people know, you can tell them, oh, some people will say, oh, I don't appreciate it when people come to my place without informing me. Some will say, I don't appreciate it when you do social thing. Openly communicate your boundaries. Let them know. They might take offense. Some people will take offense, but they will follow their boundaries because you've actually made it known. But if you think, oh, you don't want them to get angry, they will keep hurting you. They will keep doing it and hurting you. Even if they could see it from your reaction, the fact that you did not vocalize it, they will keep doing it. So some will even ask you, why are you behaving like that? Because you have not openly communicated your boundary. So please openly communicate your boundary to people politely. Third one is reiterate and uphold your boundary. Fourth one is don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to say no. If someone wants you to go to somewhere with them and you know it's going to trigger some reaction out of you, or it's not a gathering you would like to be seen with or you like to go to, please don't be afraid. Tell them no, you cannot. You don't actually even need to explain the reason sometimes. Just tell them you cannot or you are not free. Get yourself fixed up. If they notice you're actually free, that's when they want to offer. Get yourself fixed up for that day. So please don't be afraid to say no. Let your no be no. Stick by it. Number 5 is take time for yourself. Take time for yourself. It's not every gathering you must attend because your friend is doing this, your family is doing this. Sometimes you need to spend time with yourself. Reflect on life. Reflect on what you do, what you need to reduce, what you need to work on, how you need to invest in your life, in your career, how you need to invest in your career for you to grow. If you want to always be around people everywhere they ask you to come to, you don't have time of yourself for yourself. That means you can't even have time for your own self-care, your personal care, your laundries, everything, your house. You can't have time because you're always out there. You're a people pleaser. So take time for yourself. It will help you to be able to also mold yourself to say, oh, this is what I cannot do, this is what I can do. I need also time to rest, to be in my house, to even feel free in your house, rather than being around people that, you know what, you need to buckle up, you need to put this, you need to sit up, you need to behave professionally, you need to, if you're in your house, you can be on your couch and rest. And be sipping your tea or drink, watch TV, you can eat. But when you're outside, you want to know. If you're in your house, that's what you do. But you know what I mean? Like, when in your house, you will kind of be free. You can be on the bed and receive your phone call. Hello, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. But if you're outside, you want to pick up, hello, give yourself some time, please. It's needed. Setting physical and social boundaries. If you know you're in a relationship, especially emotional relationship, please, it's better you set some boundaries from the beginning. Once you start to know that, okay, you guys are going to be seeing each other, that you're seeing each other, there's a relationship, okay, you start talking about boundaries. That's when you talk about, oh, I don't want this, I don't want touch, or I want touch to 5 limits, I don't want to get to number 6. You set boundaries. It's okay for you to set boundaries so that when that person is trying to cross it, you can remind them, we've spoken about this, we agree about this, because we're human, they could unknowingly want about to cross the boundary. It's okay for you to remind them, like, no, we've talked about this, have you forgotten? Or someone like, oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. You remind them. Set boundary. If you don't set boundary, if they're trying to come and touch, and you say, stop it, they were like, what's wrong with this one? Because to them, being in a relationship means that any touchy can happen. But once you set boundaries, you guys have agreed to it, setting up physical boundaries, then they will know that, okay, awesome, personal space. You don't like them to come too close to you. Once they are coming, you say, oh, please, personal space, please. Because if they are talking, if they don't touch you, like, oh, Bala, and, try to remind them that you don't need to touch me before you speak. I can still hear you. Remind them of the personal boundary. So setting a physical and sexual boundary is part of the personal boundary that you need to actually set when you're in a relationship. And, it will help you with your personal boundary that you're trying to build with people around you. Another one is respecting emotional boundaries. You need to respect people's emotional boundary because you're their friends or you're their you have emotional feelings together. There are some things that you don't need to get into. It could be their past that they don't want to talk about at that moment, maybe because they feel they are going to be really vulnerable or their family, try to respect that boundary. It might still come that they will be able to share it with you, but don't force it. Don't force it at all. So try to respect that emotional boundaries with them. If you're over pushing things, it might give them another reason to think, oh, you don't fit in to be their person, because you always want to have your way. So once you always want to have your way, they feel, oh no, you always want to you always make them to overrule the rules or limit that they have, so they wouldn't want to be around you. So learn to also respect emotional boundary with others. It's not everything that happens to them that you must know. When you see people crying or they are down, once you ask them and they said, I don't want to talk about it, give them time. Don't start forcing it. Why are you crying? Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Is there anything I can help you with? It's not like I must know what is happening to you before I can know how to help you. Respect that boundary. As at that time they said they don't want to talk about it. Talking about it could make them be more emotional or dislike whoever actually caused that feeling they were having. So sometimes some people have time to calm down, then they can be able to now tell that, you know what, this is what happened. But don't force it that it has to, they need to tell you right now, because you want to have an insight into their reason for crying or their reason for being that emotional. So please try to respect that emotional boundary with people. Another one is, please pay attention to warnings and don't try to defend people just because you like them. Pay attention to warnings. Don't try to defend people just because you like them. Let's say, for example, on YouTube street that we are in, like people will say, so because you like a content creator, you like the way they do things, it doesn't mean that they will always be right. So once they now do something wrong and someone, maybe a fan or let's just say it's fan or one of their members point it out, it doesn't mean that you have to start attacking that person that pointed out their flaws. You could feel that maybe it should have been said in a polite way, or they could have gone to their inbox to talk about it. That doesn't mean that you should rule out what that your what's it called, your role model or influencer has done. Don't defend it. If they've done wrong, know it. Accept that they've done wrong. If you're able to have a word with them so that they can change their way, it's okay. But don't defend it. So try to get that warning. Pay attention to that warning. Once you start defending them, other people will see you as the same as them. Even if you know that even if it's something you're not going to do, but because you like them, you're defending them. Pay attention to some warnings. Don't defend people just because you like them. Don't defend. You can feel, oh, maybe it should have been said privately, or maybe, but don't. Some people would defend to the extent that they will go into personal rifts. They will be abusing their family, causing they will start. It becomes a personal issue just for a fan. No. So please pay attention to warnings. So just tiny warnings. It shows that even when you're now close to that person, you don't know what they're going to do to you. So why defending them? Why defending them just because you like them? Please don't do that. Be aware of how your behavior could affect another person. So if you know you're the snappy type or you're too blunt, sometimes be reasonable and think of how your behavior could affect another person. You could tell some people to go into their shell. Some people might not believe in maybe your kind of person anymore, or let's say people that are in love, they will like. So just be aware of your behavior so that you don't know how your behavior could affect the other person. It could affect them negatively, that whoever they meet next, or they're actually being honest, they will not believe them because they've actually used your own behavior or what you do to make up their mind and judge others. So please be self-aware. Know that your part of your behavior could affect other people's reaction. It could affect other people anyway. That means that's why you need to take some time to observe people. It will help you to judge how you walk around them. Like I said, that sometimes your behavior could affect some people's judgment. The same way you're using some people's attitude to judge how you're going to be around them, because you already know what you shouldn't say, how you shouldn't do things, because you don't like the way they appear or the way they bring out, they portray things. So please be self-aware of this. Know your limit. Personal boundary is quite important in relationship, either a casual relationship or emotional relationship. It helps people to be able to know how to also deal with you, or how you put your guard up and down. So people will know, oh, she's not a jovial person, or she's not friendly. Once they know you're not friendly, they won't bring some funny things to you, or they will know their limit with you. But if you know that anything comes, anything go, you're pure water. So when they do something that you don't like and you're telling them, they'll feel like, who are you talking to? When did that one start? Because you did not put you didn't set boundary. That's why they'll say, when did that one start? Now how we take start that one? Because you did not set boundary. And it doesn't mean that because you didn't set boundary from the beginning, you should take everything. Once you start noticing that oh, you made a mistake of not setting boundary and you want to set that boundary, please openly communicate that across and stick by it. Your no is no. Stick by it. It's not everything you have to explain. Everybody doesn't have to be your friend. Don't always fit or squeeze yourself, model yourself to fit into a circle just because you want them to be your friend. Also be very, very attentive to warnings. Don't defend people just because you like them. You might create enmity for yourself unknowingly. The person you're defending might not be able to defend you in the near future. Be wise. Set boundary wisely. I hope this has taught you guys well. I hope you find some good message to pick up from this. And if you have watched to this stage and you haven't clicked the like button, please click the like button and please share if you can. I really appreciate that. And with this, I will see you in my next video. Do take care. Bye.